Hello and welcome everyone. In this OFBIZ-OMS series, we are talking about pre-order management and its challenges. We have already talked about what is pre-order, its benefit, and some of the challenges, like delay in the pre-order items, communicate the updated expected arrival date, overselling of pre-orders, and control over the release of pre-order items. We have already discussed why and how to reserve inventory for the stores first, as required by the merchandiser to have some inventory reserved for the walk-in customers that help them to achieve their target revenue. Keep updating the customers is a challenging task with the all the changes in the shipping or transactional update through multiple communication channels. We have to maintain a relation with the customers. It's required to have timely delivery of your pre-order items. When a pre-order item is oversold, it creates a horrible customer relation with you. So we already talked about what are the requirements that should be addressed while selling of pre-order items, and how to limit the quantity of pre-order so that it should not exceed the manufacturing quantity. So today I'm going to talk about two most discussed terms here, that is pre-order and backorder. A pre-order and a backorder is have opened many opportunities for the e-retailers for better order facility or inventory management. A pre-order item is basically used to place an item that is not launched yet or will newly launched, whereas a backorder item is was once in the stock but now out of stock. So I have few caution regarding to it, as OMS is a complete solution for it for selling out of stock products that may be unavailable or upcoming products. So my caution here is that products information are basically managed in PIM, but for pre-orders we are managing its status and details in the OMS. So why we are using pre-order and backorder in OMS? How we specifically define these two terms in OMS?
Yeah, just let me try to answer your question, Rashi. As you
Yes.
have already mentioned that uh, basically there is this fine line. If we would like to differentiate the pre-order and back order, at
Mhm.
functional level, if you ask me at the functional level, I would say it's just an order. Either it's a pre-order or back order. It's an order for an item which is not in stock as of now. And when I say out of stock, then all of a sudden it becomes the back order. And if I say it's a new launch product, it becomes the pre-order. So at functional level, it does not make any difference for a system which is efficiently managing the orders for an item which is not in stock as of now. That's one thing. So at functional level, you can manage it that way. But obviously, as you're calling, there are these two terms, right? And being used in business. And definitely there can be various business objectives and use cases which are associated with these two terms, right? Because
Right.
obviously the merchandisers would like to handle pre-orders and back orders separately, and that's where the differentiation has to be introduced and to be handled while actually talking about mapping up the requirements in any of the OMS platform that you are using. In case of OFBiz, OFBiz is very capable of handling the back orders, and obviously it would be able to do good for pre-orders as well. As I said, there is no differentiation at functional level. But yeah, for the reporting purposes, because it was a business strategy to launch a product in a certain way, they want to create certain. They want to tell the customers that there is this product which is coming, so you can, if you want, you can book early. They want it can be it is basically a marketing tool, I would say, where you are actually you are doing publicity of the products which are not yet available for fulfillment in your warehouse or the fulfillment locations, but you are telling your customers that you can book it upfront, and you are creating a vibe of that particular product, right? So it's all part of the business strategy, and that's where the reporting becomes important. You have to tell the merchandisers that certain items which were put on pre-order, basically you started taking pre-orders, how the products are performing, how many
Mhm.
orders are coming, like based on that it will help the merchandiser in doing the merchandising, that is to place certain orders to the vendors and then managing the shipments accordingly and making sure that the availability of the products are on time and on at the fulfillment locations. Okay, that's where the promising comes in picture. The date you promised on, the quantity you promised to the customers, and keeping your promise is very critical in case of pre-orders, because if you put customer in center and you just talked about the customer relationship, that is a very critical aspect of it. Not only taking pre-order is going to benefit the customer, but also to keep the customer experience into center is very critical. And for that you have to give access to all this data to the merchandisers through order manager, or there can be certain teams and people who are working together in making it happen. So for reporting purposes, obviously this differentiation has to be there. It can be a reporting thing, or you can call it a UX thing, which is actually helping the business in making sure that they are easily able to they are able to identify, okay, these many orders of a certain products are pre-orders, and these are the orders which are the back orders, and then they can plan the merchandising accordingly. So I hope it answers your question, right?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Pranay. As you are saying, there's no functionality difference, but pre-order is used for the reporting purpose. Is there another cases of business where pre-order is used in the OMS, or what can be the cases here other than reporting?
Um, Rashi, if let me try to answer this question here.
Yes.
First of all, thank you, Pranay, for sharing your thoughts on the pre-orders and back orders. And that actually gives me the idea when it comes to this question comes from Rashi. Is there any use cases? I would say like we you said, this is a big part of business strategy. So there is another business strategy that can be used, that is actually the demand generation, or in simpler way you can say this is actually a tool for demand generation. Like say if a merchandiser wants to know if a certain product is going to actually be accepted, and is there any vibe to it, like you said on the marketing side. But at the same time he don't want to book on for any new item, they want to ask the vendors and the sellers to just provide those items so that they can fulfill it. But before putting that order, if they want to know, is this product is actually going to work for us, is this good for our business, so they can do something like they put this item as a new launch for a pre-order, and they see for a couple of time that is there any demand generation for this particular product. And if it is, then they can calculate or evaluate what amount of and quantity they should be ordering to the vendors. So this is in a very simple term, this is a tool to to identify the demand for a particular product in the market. What do you
Okay.
say on that?
Yeah, and truly. So they are using this, pre-order data for many purposes here, for reporting, for demand generation, and they will collect this data to get this information. So how will we using this in OFBIZ OMS? How we are going to manage the pre-orders in OFBIZ?
Yeah, that is a pretty interesting question, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think as for OFBiz, it's just an order for an out of stock product. Like we said, that the basic difference between pre-orders and back orders is just the timeline when the product is going to launch. So we will do everything that currently happens with any back order items, like reserving the and doing the negative reservations for the inventory. So if in future, if future availability is found through shipments for that particular items, that can be definitely clubbed with those negative reservations to identify that when it is going to be promised to the customer, basically. And for now, I guess this at the data model level, this is currently not connected. Like we do not connect reservations with the shipments and for the promise date thing. And but that can be definitely done, because we have shipments that tells us that what items are going to be received in the system and when it is going to be received. So we can do that enhancements in the current framework to achieve those negative reservations based on the promise date thing for the pre-orders. That is definitely doable. And one more thing is, when you receive that particular shipment, as inventory item is going to be available now, so all the negatively reserved pre-orders are being checked as per the priority basis. And this is already available in OTB. So the after reservations flow, after receiving the inventory, the reservation flows works pretty fine in out of the box OFBiz. And we can also have some smart APIs that checks for future inventory and provide inventory details of any items considering the future shipments. And I guess that will be an additional icing over the cake in this matter, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess in the traditional OFBiz, as OMS does not need to care much about that pre-order thing as an additional classification. But for sure, to stay competitive, we could leverage OMS and extend it to manage the management of pre-orders.
Hmm.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah,
Suraj.
that definitely gives an extra edge on the API
Yeah.
front, as Suraj said. The
Yeah.
real-time reporting to the platforms. Like in the last session, we were talking about um, this availability of the information to different platforms, because
Hmm.
to be a competitive platform in the omni-channel environment for any of the retailer, any platform which is being used there has to be having readily available information to be passed on to these platforms, and having the API which is available and which can do this for you can be very, I would say, extremely used in those cases, and to be giving the real time information to the customer. And that's where the customer centricity comes in
Yeah.
picture again, and relationships and all those things. So yeah, that is something, and I'm definitely looking forward to the gap analysis that we'll be doing uh, with this feature sets and OIBiz, and like how it maps up, and what are the gaps that we identify, and whatever it is, we can definitely bring OIBiz, I would say, offerings to the next level. But yeah, that is something which is in future. But yeah, I'm excited about that. So thank you, Suraj, for
Yes.
giving all those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Pranay, just like you said here, that the session that we are doing is actually working as a resource. These will be the base for doing the gap analysis of certain things that we have been
Yes.
discussing so far here for the
Yes.
pre-order management. Like Suraj just said that identifying the upcoming advanced shipments and leveraging that with the
Yes.
OMS could actually be a good tool to work for the pre-order management. So we have this kind of a discussion we have done so far, so this is a good base where we can start working towards the
Um, Series that we are doing basically, and we have talked about various topics, started from inventory availability, 360 view of inventory, and then talked about, and everything is actually revolving around inventory only. So in the center there is inventory where everything is moving around. So we'll soon be planning for the future topics and sessions, but let's take a call on that, as like what would we like to do. We would like to dig in further in these previous topics that we have already discussed, or we would like to jump on to the next one, because there is a lot of requirements that we would like to discuss and to record those sessions as well. So um, thank you so much for thank you so much to all of you for being part of this journey. And we have been I'm thoroughly enjoying these sessions. So, and I hope everyone else is also enjoying. And
Definitely.
will.
we'll have more participants, I hope, in
Yeah.
future. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank,
so much.
thank you, everyone. We
Thank
have
you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Rashi.
Yeah,